Hi everyone, my name is Oreoluwa Adekunle. I'm a 500 level law student of Adeleke University and I'm currently a virtual intern at HARLEM Solicitors. Briefly, I want to discuss on the topic regulatory framework and environmental standard for telecommunications in Nigeria. By way of introduction, I'll say every human society depends on some form of telecommunication. And it's no surprise that telecommunication is one of the fastest growing industry in Nigeria. It is practically impossible for business bodies, for government organizations, as well as individuals to define their collective identities and make decisions about their common and binding interests without some form of communication. Therefore, the importance of telecommunication and the laws regulating the telecommunications industry cannot be overemphasized. By saying the regulatory framework and environmental standard for telecommunications in Nigeria, I mean the laws, the policies, the standards, the regulations that govern the telecommunications industry in Nigeria. The Nigerian telecommunications industry was grossly underdeveloped before the sector was deregulated under the military regime in 1992. These and many other acts led into the signing in of the Nigerian Communication Act on the 8th of July 2003 by the then President of Nigeria, President Olusegun Obasanjo. The Nigerian Communication Act of 2003, hereinafter referred to as the NCA, abrogated 3 laws, which includes the Nigerian Communication Act No. 75 of 1992, Nigerian Communication Amendment Act No. 30 of 1998, as well as the Nigerian Telecommunication and Postal Offences Act No. 21 of 1995. Therefore, the principal legislation for regulating the telecommunications industry in Nigeria is the NCA. According to Section 1 of the NCA, the major objective of the Act is to create and provide a regulatory framework for the Nigerian communications industry. For the rest of the objective, you can see Section 1, subsection A to I of the NCA 2003. Section 3, subsection 1 of the NCA 2003 established a commission known as the Nigerian Communications Commission, hereinafter referred to as the NCC, for the purpose of regulating the telecommunications industry in Nigeria. The NCC is also to be supervised by the Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. The major objective of the NCC is to create a salutary environment for competition among network providers and ensure efficient quality of service in Nigeria. Some of the functions include the facilitation of investment in the sector, also ensuring accurate billing system, among others. For the rest of the function, you can see Section 4, subsection 1(8)(w) of the NCA 2002. One major important thing to note here is that the NCA does not regulate the broadcasting industry. The National Broadcasting Commission regulates the broadcasting industry. Another very important section to note under the NCA of 2003 is Section 70. Section 70 gave the NCC the power to make regulations and guidelines. According to Section 71, when the NCC wants to make a new regulation, it is mandatory for the NCC to conduct a public inquiry and also take into consideration the findings of the inquiry. But when the NCC wants to make a new guideline, this is not compulsory. When a situation whereby the NCC chooses to conduct a public inquiry for the making of a guideline, the NCC must also take into consideration the findings of the inquiry. Section 72 of the NCA also gave the NCC the power to modify, review, or repeal any regulation or guideline that has been made earlier. The NCC so far has made about 20 regulations and 18 guidelines. For instance, for regulations, we have the Telecommunication Network Interconnection Regulation of 2007. We have the Licensing Regulation of 2019. For guidelines, for instance, we have the Guidelines on Communication and Infrastructure Sharing. We have the Guidelines on the Technical Specification for the Installation of Mass Network of 2009, among others. Another important regulatory body to note is the National Environmental Standard and Regulation Enforcement Agency. The federal government, in line with Section 20 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, established the National Environmental Standard and Regulation Enforcement Agency, hereinafter referred to as the NESRA. The law establishing the NESRA is the National Environmental Standard and Regulation Enforcement Agency Establishment Act of 2007, hereinafter referred to as the NESRA Act of 2007. Therefore, the principal legislation for regulating the telecommunications industry, for regulating the environmental standard in Nigeria is the NESRA Act of 2007. The NESRA is also a parastatal under the supervision of the Federal Ministry of Environment and Urban Development. The NESRA is charged with the responsibility of enforcing all environmental laws, guidelines, regulation, and standard. Its main focus is to ensure a cleaner and healthier environment for all Nigerians. Section 34 of the NESRA Act of 2007 gave the minister the power to make regulations for the purpose of carrying out the functions of the agency. So far, the NESRA has made about 33 legislations. But for the purpose of telecommunications, the only relevant regulation is the National Environmental Standard for Telecommunication and Broadcasting Facilities, Regulation 2011, hereinafter referred to as the 2011 regulations. The major objective of the 2011 regulation is to protect the environment and human health, ensure safety and general welfare, also eliminate or reduce public or private losses as a result of the activities of the telecommunications and broadcasting facilities. This is in accordance with Regulation 3, subsection 1 of the 2011 regulation. For the specific objective, we can see Regulation 3, subsection 2A to G of the 2011 regulation. The 2011 regulation covers matters such as setting and installation of masts and towers, abandonment of masts and towers, permissible radiation levels, also the environmental monitoring and inspection, among others. But one important thing to also note is that this does not give NESRA a regulatory function over the telecommunication operations in Nigeria. This power still relies with the NCC in accordance with Section 3, subsection 1 of the NCA 2003, also in accordance with Item 46, second schedule of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended. Conclusively, I have examined the regulatory framework and environmental standard for telecommunications in Nigeria. The NCC is the sole regulatory body for telecommunications in Nigeria, which was established under the NCA of 2003. The regulatory body for environmental standard in Nigeria is the NESRA, which was established under the NESRA Act of 2007. For the purpose of telecommunications, the NESRA established 2011 regulation in a bid to carry out the functions of the agency. For more information, you can visit our website at www.harlemsolicitors.com. Thank you for listening.